talk about today, man. I don't even think I could bullshit like that for real. I think I could bullshit, man. Okay, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, it's only been a couple days. Like, it's Wednesday. It's July 2nd, right? It's July 2nd. Hold on. Let me. I want to get this. I want to get this real games. Let's see. What the fuck? June 22nd. Game 7 of the NBA Finals just took place on Sunday, June 22nd. It is July 2nd, and so much has already happened since then. We were talking about it during the finals. It felt as if the NBA, or at least the rest of the league outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder, was already moving on to next year, because even the Indiana Pacers made a move during the finals. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the let me see. Look, when the Pacers had made a trade with the New Orleans Pelicans during the NBA Finals, it was after Game 5. It was a draft deal. The Indiana Pacers traded their number 23 pick and the rights to Mojave King to the New Orleans Pelicans for Indiana's own 2026 first-round pick back, which obviously the Pelicans had acquired previously through a different deal. So it felt as if even the Indiana Pacers, who were in the finals, had already moved on to next season, right? And everything after that point has kind of followed suit. So we're gonna start with the biggest news. Honestly, the other day we had missed some stuff, but I don't think we could continue. Actually, because we were just on the finals. Congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Signed a 4-year, $285 million max contract. Excuse me. To stay with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's making, I think it's 70 or 71 and a quarter million dollars let me see. Or it's 70 and a quarter million dollars a year, 71 and a quarter million dollars a year, something like that. And if he plays 70 games, he makes $1 million a game. That's insane. That's really cool. I think he could have waited and gotten more, but I understand the security and I understand wanting to get it done already. What a year this guy has had. MVP, scoring champ, right? Scoring champ, Western Conference Finals MVP, NBA Finals MVP, NBA champion. And to think that he could have turned this into, the second year of a back-to-back MVP, right? If he would have won it the previous year, which obviously Nikola Jokic had won. So what a year for Shai. What a year for Shai. But moving along to the big news. And I want us. We'll read this the way Shams broke the news, right? So, breaking news on the first, right, was Myles Turner had agreed to a 4-year, $107 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks, plus a player option for year 4 in 28-29 and a full 15% trade kicker. Now, what is a trade kicker? Oh, he gets a bonus when he's traded. Okay, so if he gets traded, he gets a bonus. That's insane. Is that 15% of his contract? That's a crazy amount. What's good, Black Canadian? How you doing? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? It's how much money they give. Yeah. That's what I just read up on. So it was really crazy that they, that obviously this trade happened, right? This was at 10:07 a.m., right, when Shams broke this news. And then by 10:17 a.m., Shams broke the news that the Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching the remaining $113 million on his contract in order to acquire Myles Turner. And from my understanding, this doesn't affect their salary cap, which is why they're able to acquire Myles Turner. And that 113 is stretched over 5 years. He's getting paid like 22 and change, right? $23 million a year by the Milwaukee Bucks, while he gets to now enter free agency completely unrestricted, right? So this is a lot to unpack. This is a lot to unpack. So the first part, the Indiana Pacers, from what I read, offered Myles Turner 3 years, 60. I don't know how true that is. But if that is true, that is egregious. Like, if that's true, you didn't even try. And I get that, like, I was making fun of his rebounds. Like I get all of that, but he's such a key part of why Indiana works. His ability to shoot at his size and block shots. It's a big part of why the Pacers work, whether he's playing well or not. I know we sit here in the moment and critique it, but that's a fact, right? That's a fact. And to be the longest tenured Pacer to have brought you guys or helped bring you guys to NBA Finals, like, that's crazy. You could have given me like 3 years, 75. Like, you, like, bruh, like, that's I mean, if there's any truth to that, that's crazy. And with that opening, the Milwaukee Bucks decide to tell Damian Lillard, hey, we'll pay you to not be on our basketball team. That's literally what they told him. We will pay you to not be on our team. Mind you, aren't they still paying like 2 other coaches? So I guess number one, if you are looking for a job in the NBA, you should be calling the Milwaukee Bucks, because they might owe us some money at this point. We need to take a look at some shit, because the Milwaukee Bucks might owe us some cash for the bullshit that we've had to watch. Because they just paying people. I wonder what type of cash they got over there in Milwaukee, because it's got to be different. We talking about small market, and they're throwing away $20 million. Yo, it kind of, all of that small market stuff, they gonna lose that. They gonna lose that if they just keep throwing money like this, and people are onto them like, wait, hold on. You're supposed to be a small market team with an inability to get, big stars. Like, where's the money going? So Damian Lillard is out. Now, allegedly he found out like the rest of us. Allegedly he found out just like the rest of us. And what does it say? I'm pissed because they overpaid and forced us to pay Poto 26 mil a year starting when he turns 33, 34. What's one? What's good? What's one? Oh, drop a like on that motherfucker too. I gotta start remembering to do that in the middle. Especially when new people be popping in and it's not just y'all. Yo, drop a like. But like initially it was probably really shocking for Dame, right? Because that feeling of a team wanting to pay you to not be a part of their team, that could be a real big blow to your ego, right? And it really depends on the type of person you are and how you look at this situation, but he gets paid out for the next 5 years guaranteed, which is a big W. So W Dame for that. But he could fuck everything up. Damian Lillard is in a very interesting spot right now, because he is in a position where money plays a really small factor in his decision right now. Because he could take a $10 million a year deal, a $15 million a year deal, and still get really close to $40 million a year because of this Milwaukee Bucks deal, and go and play for a contender. He could take the minimum. What is the minimum? $5 million or some shit like that. He could take the minimum just to be on a roster while he rehabs this season. And then try to play for a bigger contract after that. He is in a very, very unique spot. So I'm happy that Dame gets to be in free agency. The thing that really sucks about it is it would have been nice to see him in free agency, in his late 20s instead of 34. Right? When he was 27, 25 a game, it would have been real cool to see what it would have looked like to see if Damian Lillard would have hit the open market in the NBA. And obviously that's neither here nor there. But at 34 years old, I think he still has a game that translates, even post injury. We've seen guys be successful like a Kevin Durant still. I think the key moving forward is going to be Damian Lillard's efficiency, right? How efficient can he be as a shooter, as a scorer, and as a playmaker, right? So those are going to be the questions because no one questions his skill. And, when he chooses a team, it really comes down to you saw what it was like with Giannis, right? You saw what that was like with a player that's better than you. Do you try to be in a situation where you're in a similar spot again, like go to Denver? Or do you go into, do you go into a spot where maybe you get a little bit more of an opportunity? But Dame, I heard some people say Boston, right? I heard some people say Boston. Seeing him and Tatum come back from an Achilles tear, I don't think that's a vibe. I think that is not the vibe. If anything, that should be the last thing that the Boston Celtics should do. Yeah, that's not a vibe. I don't think they should do that. I don't think they should do that. Denver, like we just said, and we'll talk about them some more in a little bit. Denver, if you want to go fuck around and play with Jokic and see if he can help Jokic get a championship. LA, if you want to go play with Luka and Bron. Miami is a team that's come up because he wanted to go to Miami before, but I don't really know what team is over there that you could say is contending for a championship. He could go to Houston. I know Fred has been a starter in this league, but if you put Dame in a spot where he doesn't have to play 35 minutes a game and he's like in the 28, 26 minutes, him and Fred are kind of halving that role. Fred gets to be efficient. Dame gets to be efficient alongside, Kevin Durant and the rest of those young guys. That's an option as well too. So there's really a lot of different ways he could do this. He could sign with a team now. He could wait to sign with a team because he's getting like $23 million. Like, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? They literally paid this man to not be on the team. I've never seen no shit like that. Like, I've never seen no shit like that. Now, I did want to talk about Denver because Denver is making moves. Let me see. Let me go all the way down. So the first move that they made was, and this is right after we were live the other day. I have no idea what I'd do if I was Dame. I mean, I agree. I agree. My girlfriend and I talk about this all the time. Sometimes when you have all the options, right? Like, if I give you 10 options, like, people be like, yeah, but you got all the options. Sometimes that makes it more difficult than giving me 3 options or 2 options, right? Now I'm sitting here considering fucking everything. Right now I'm sitting here, well, I could try to play this out. Like, everything could look good the more options you give me. So that is possible. That is possible. Maybe spend a year in Miami just for the fun and then go to somewhere like Dallas. Yeah, Dallas could also be a good spot. Or just go like OKC now and say F it. Yeah, I mean, he could do, like I said, he could do so many things. And there is such a thing as having too many options, right? And if you're Dame and you're trying to chase a chip, right? Obviously it's not everything, but that would really suck if you end up somewhere and, you guys have a devastating failure or just shit happens, right? And then you're just sitting there like, what the fuck? So he's definitely got a lot to consider. But like I said, one of the teams he could potentially go to just made a move. The Denver Nuggets are trading Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first round pick to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson. How do we feel about this? How do we feel about this? Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. How do we feel? How do we feel? Excuse me. Personally, because I was looking at their stats, I was looking at some of their highlights. I was just going back and looking through it for the both of them. I love this. I love this. And we'll talk about the basketball stuff in just 1 second, but that last year was really rough for Denver and Michael Porter Jr. Right? I felt like, especially during the early part of the season, Michael Porter Jr. started to turn a corner. Right? He up until now, he's been widely considered as a shooter, and obviously he doesn't shoot a three-pointer every time. By the way, I don't know why we have to do this right now, because I've been watching a lot of content from different people. Low for example, Low Lights for as one. But why do people act like when we say Michael Porter Jr. just shoots a bunch of threes or shoots all threes, why do people take that literally? Obviously, he drives the basketball sometimes. Obviously, he'll dunk it, he'll lay it up, float, like obviously, we could find that. But he's primarily a three-point shooter. But that's neither here nor there. I just keep seeing people talk about it that way, and it's irritating. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why are we spending an additional 5 minutes of the convo talking about something that's just us talking shit? But anyway, some of the criticism of Michael Porter Jr., he doesn't have a motor, right? He could be low energy. All he do is shoot. I think some of that took a toll. And with the injury, Michael Porter Jr. forcing himself to play, and it felt like the team was still questioning him in some of those moments, I felt like that relationship was fractured. So, regardless of what you think of Michael Porter Jr., his play, his talent, his potential, I don't really think that matters in this scenario, because I think that relationship was fractured. So you're never going to get the same Michael Porter Jr., right? Versus a Cam Johnson, right? And I want to get his age here really quickly. Because it's not like Michael Porter Jr. I mean, it's not like he's old. I just want to make sure we're accurate in the way that we speak. Okay, so Cam Johnson is actually older. He's 28 to Michael Porter Jr.'s 26. Right? My biggest thing in this, when we compare them two, right? At least for me, the most glaring thing between the two of them is the rebounds. Because Cam Johnson is a 6'8" power forward versus a 6'10" small forward in Michael Porter Jr., right? And last year, Michael Porter Jr. averaged 7 rebounds a game to Cam Johnson's 4.3. So, I think that's the thing to watch between the two of them. For his career, Cam Johnson averages 3.9 rebounds a game versus Michael Porter Jr., who for his career averages 6.4. Right? So, I think that's something to definitely watch out for, to watch the Denver Nuggets' rebounding numbers going forward. But I think Cam Johnson is a better defender, right? A better defensive player. And I think he's someone that's not just going to settle for threes, right? And that's a really big part. He could hit the three, right? He could hit the three, 39% last year. But I think he's at least right now, a bit of a better cutter than Michael Porter Jr. And I think that helps when it comes to trying to get more of a dynamic offense for the Nuggets with a dynamic player in Jokic, where we saw if guys are standing around, they become easier to guard, right? So having a player that's gonna add um uh another layer to the game other than Aaron Gordon, right? We saw Christian Brown trying to do a little bit more of that as well too, but I think that's a real positive. I like that swap. It refreshes Denver's timeline as well because Cam has more potential growth than MPJ at this point. How do you say he has more potential growth? How do you gauge that? Because you got to think. You got to think. I'm averaging 18.2 right next to a guy that's averaging a 30-point triple-double. I get you got Cam Thomas on that team, on the Brooklyn Nets, but if you're Cam Johnson, you should have averaged more. And now, you know, if we're looking at Michael Porter Jr., like we're expecting his points per game to bump up. We'll see if it actually happens. But, you know, and also Cam Johnson being 2 years older than Michael Porter Jr., I don't know if potential growth would be the right way to or the right thing to say. I do like the swap, but growth compatible to the system. I could see that. I could see that because, you know, I think some of the things that I was asking for out of Michael Porter Jr. to be a little bit more of a cutter, like he started doing, granted, you know, Michael Porter Jr. 2 years from now, right, at 28 versus Cam Johnson at 28, we could be looking at two totally different people, right? If Michael Porter Jr. really develops that, you know, midi to inside game and is more aggressive, right? But you know, we'll see. We will definitely see. MPJ injuries has made his decline sharper, faster. I mean, I don't know if that's even an accurate statement, Black Canadian, because in 6 years, right? I guess they played the same amount of years at this point. But, you know, Michael Porter Jr. has actually played more games than Cam Johnson. He's 345 to 340. Last season, Michael Porter Jr. played more games than Cam Johnson. The year before that, he played more than him. The year before that, he played more than him. 2022, 2023. Yeah, he played more than him in 22, 23. What is this? 22, 20, 21, 22 was the injury year. He played 9 games, but before that, he played just as many games as 2020, 2021. Yeah, he played more games than, I don't know if that's accurate. I get that Michael Porter Jr. has been injured, has had some injuries, but he's played more games than him, year in and year out than Cam Johnson. So, again, we'll see. I think they're similar players, but I think we'll see how Cam Johnson fits into this system with Jokic, because like I said, Michael Porter Jr. was getting 18 next to the MVP and then next to another guy getting 20, right, in Jamal Murray. So I get that they had Cam Thomas. Honestly, low key, and this is the part I want to talk about with Denver, because Bruce Brown agreed to a 1-year deal to go back to Denver, right? That was a big pickup. And then what was the other one? They got two other deals. They made two other deals, right? They're getting fuck, why am I blanking right now? Oh yes. They're getting Valanciunas, which I think is a great pickup to back up Jokic. We're gonna even see them both on the floor at the same time. At points of the season, I think as well too. But the other big pickup was Tim Hardaway Jr. Big pickup, Tim Hardaway Jr., the shooter. I think that was massive. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I would have at least gotten some questions about Jamal Murray, because Jamal Murray is a very good basketball player in this league, right? And we've seen him have his moments of being really, really good. And I get that he had the ACL injury earlier on, right? 2021, 2022. But ideally, Jokic is elevating his game, right? Elevating his game year in and year out. MVP caliber to 30-point, triple-double, just crazy stuff, right? And we were also on a very on a much quieter note, wanting the same thing out of Jamal Murray. At least to be an all-star. I get this is a stacked league. But in order to be in contention for championships every year, the rest of the team has to get better and elevate with Jokic. And maybe that's part of the reason why they also got rid of Michael Porter Jr. That's what I was talking about earlier this year. No one has gotten better or noticeably better on Denver except for their best player. Everyone needs to be elevating. And the second guy in command has been real steady. He's been a rock. But we needed you to be a bigger rock year in, year out. We needed you to be a little bit better. Maybe you got to be a little bit better of a three-point shooter. Maybe you got to finish at something. But it leads me to the question of maybe it's time that maybe they should have gotten Cam Thomas out of the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe shit I might have asked. No funny shit. I might have asked, because at this point we got a 23-year-old getting 24 a game in Brooklyn. Hey, we could work with that. We can't leave him on an island. Jokic is going to drag 14 people on him. Cam Johnson, we could work with that. Because they got Jokic. It's not just them with a bunch of with a bunch of random people on the team. But I might have toyed with the idea of getting rid of Jamal Murray. What I mean about MPJ is that I don't see him becoming a star player like that, but that's the type of game he has. He's limited due to the type of injuries he's had as well. He is losing mobility. No, I get the injuries. I get the injury part, but it just, he's in terms of at least all the metrics, he's been more available than Cam Johnson year in and year out. He's younger and scored the same amount of points next to a guy who's taking up a majority of the possessions in the game. So we'll see how he looks on Brooklyn, because we saw, we've seen it with Jordan Poole where, you get put out on an island on your own after you were next to this behemoth of a player, and sometimes you can't swim unless you got the guy next to you, right? So it's gonna be a real year for Michael Porter Jr. That we could revisit. Uh, we could revisit this shit. That boy got a fresh cut. You know, it's a vibe. It's noticeable each season to me. Everyone put your girl up. What? What are you saying? When I saw the notification, I thought it was Cam. That's what I thought. I thought it was Cam Thomas. I was like, yo, they about to get the shooter. But yeah, I think I would have liked to see Jokic next to somebody else. Like, we need someone unconscious. I need someone. Hey, Jokic could handle all of this other shit. He could learn, but we need someone that's just like unconscious, just blacking out sometimes, going crazy, because we need a little more than 20, man. Like, it just is what it is. I need Russ to sign back. If he do Nugs in 5, I think that would be a great pickup if they could re-sign Russell Westbrook again. But if Jamal Murray does not have a great year, and Damian Lillard is not on a team, that boy might go to Denver. hey, that boy might go to Denver. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But I think Tim Hardaway Jr., massive pickup for the Nuggets. You can't double him no more. Hey, we seen what happened. With the stand when everybody's out, but you don't have a bunch of shooters on the floor. We saw what that looked like for Denver. Now let's put a bunch of shooters on the floor and see what happens. So, that was crazy. Detroit. Where is this? He's Detroit. The funny thing about them, they lost Tim Hardaway, right? They lost Tim Hardaway. Malik Beasley is obviously going through his thing, but signed Duncan Robinson in the meantime. So, I felt like so many teams could have used Duncan Robinson, but he decided to go to Detroit. Like, I got nothing for that. I got nothing for that. Maybe they offer him the most because of the situation they're in. He got 3-year, 48. But let's hit a refresh. Is there anything new? Let's see. Okay, here's the other news. Trey Mann, 3-year, $24 million deal to stay with Charlotte. And then Spencer Dinwiddie wants to hoop because he said, I'm going to Charlotte. He said, I'm going to Charlotte. He said, I'm out of there. That's Duncan's home. Oh, I did not know that. Is that where he's from? I did not know that. Okay, so that makes more sense then. But because why else would you go to Detroit? I guess in a basketball sense, it still don't really, in terms of basketball, it still don't really make sense to me. But hey, it's funny when I saw this Spencer Dinwiddie signing, all I thought about was, here, let me see if I can find it. Is it this one? Let me see if it's this one.
If you're not.
I had that. I don't think it's this, bro. Where do I see him talking about? Where is him talking about one-on-one? Because all I saw, All I saw when he was when the signing was him when he was talking about 101. Let's see if it's this one.
You put 1-on-1 in the All-Star game.
If the guys will compete, I'll put myself in it, right? I can be statistically one of the best one-on-one players in the league years running, right? But the casual fan don't want to see Spencer Dinwiddie play one-on-one. Like, hey, I'm a very realistic dude. It is what it is. Whether I bake them or not, it does not matter. They want to see Bron play Giannis.
Yeah.
Luka play KD. Jokic play Embiid. Like, and if they're not going to commit to it, you ain't got nothing.
Do you think guys in the league would be like, I want the title of best one-on-one guy?
Hell no. You want to know why? Because if you lose a dunk contest, I didn't have my legs. You lose a three-point contest, I got a little nervous. You lose one-on-one, I'm better than you.
Right.
I'm better than you.
Smoking that pack.
I'm better than you. Because whoever wins is going to walk around like that for real.
So, you know, and he obviously put himself in that convo because of statistics, and he is you know, he is a very good one-on-one player. Don't get me wrong. Spencer Dinwiddie can really hoop, but you know, when I saw that signing, that was what I immediately thought about. This man is about to play one-on-one. He's like, yo, me and Melo about to cook. That's all I thought about. He do get busy, but he's still not top one-on-one. I think in terms of PPP, he was actually like in top 5 a number of years in points per possession. So he get to it for the limited time he out there. He get to it. And not for nothing, he might fry somebody. Like, that's the thing too about the competition, right? That's the thing. That's the real thing about competition. The same way the Oklahoma City Thunder can lose to the worst team in the NBA, what? He just signed with Charlotte, bro. He just signed with Charlotte. He just signed a 2-year deal with the Charlotte Hornets. He just signed a 2-year deal with the Charlotte Hornets. So he trying to hoop with LaMelo. He trying to do some one-on-one shit with LaMelo. But that's the thing about competition that's so exciting, and I think that's what scares some people, because you can lose to someone on a given day. You can for sure. I know some of us will sit here and be like, oh, it would never happen. That you can lose to Spencer Dinwiddie on a given day. I firmly believe that. Now, if they play best out of 3, best out of 5, whatever the case might be, do I think no, probably not. But you can lose to him, and I think that fear is enough for some people to say, I'm not gonna do it. Right? I think for some people, that fear is enough to paralyze them and say, I'm not going to hoop. So he signs with Charlotte. Dante Exum is returning to Dallas. And then let's get to this, because speaking of one-on-ones, let me get to it. Speaking of the ones, right? Speaking of ones, my Filipino brother. My Filipino brethren, Jordan Clarkson, is coming to the New York Knicks. So, listen. There's gonna be some pressure on him. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's gonna be some pressure on him, because he's gonna have to be efficient, which is something he historically has not been. His shot selection has got to be a little bit better, although we know that's a part of it, right? Especially with certain players and their styles. So we got to be able to live with some of the mistakes, but he needs to improve in his efficiency, and he needs to really be a microwave, because I think he can really do some damage with us. Like, I'm over here talking about, hey, shit, we need some Dante DiVincenzo, and granted, he's not Dante DiVincenzo on defense at all, at fucking all. But he could fry. So I like the pickup. I like the pickup of Jordan Clarkson. Dang, Charlotte, yeah, they have no intentions of winning, brother. Them boys, no intentions of winning, bro. Not at all. What else was the? Oh, apparently, speaking of the Knicks, we'll get my New York Knicks out of the way here. If he's efficient, he might be Brunson light when it's bench time. That's what I'm saying. And obviously, me talking about efficiency, right? When it comes, I'll here. Let me pull up his numbers. Let me pull up Jordan Clarkson's numbers real quick. When I talk about efficiency, I'm not saying Jordan Clarkson is gonna be a 50% from the field shooter. He just can't be at fucking 40, right? Like, he needs to get back to like 45, 44, 45, 46. If he's in that range, I'll take it. Don't turn the ball over a bunch of times. Be a little bit more efficient from the field. He shot 36% from 3 last year. If we could get that to like 37, 38, like, we're money. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but that's all we want out of him. If he does that, he's doing his job. Everything else is going to be on everyone else. And Yabusele, yes, we did pick up Gershon Yabusele. That's a fire ass name, bro. When we were during the Olympics, every time they kept saying it, I'm like, that's heat. That's heat, but we'll see how much they play him, man. Because he did. How much playing time did he get on Philly last year? Let's see. 6.5. No, he was averaging 14 last year. How many minutes? Oh no, that's just per 36. Tweaking. He averaged 11 last year and 27.1 minutes per game. You know, he's a 6'8" center, so another one of those small centers like Precious Achua. So we'll see how they want to use him. I'm assuming if you have someone like him, they'll like switch everything. They'll probably try to switch a lot. So we'll see how they use him. But the real big news is, let me hit a refresh one more time before it comes out. Oh, they signed him. But the Knicks are expected to sign Mike Brown, and I think we were talking about this the other day. He's not a bad coach. like he is by no stretch a bad coach. Like at all. At all, he is not a bad coach. Is he the coach that gets us to a championship? Is he going to try to be innovative with our offense and our defense with the way the game is going, or is he going to try to implement, more older school basketball tactics, right? So I again, he's not a bad coach at all. I think he's a good coach, but and to be honest, like what there really are no options. Like my dad was in my text the other day, or he was in my text. He was texting me earlier. He was like, he said he didn't like Jenkins either. I was telling him I didn't like it. He was saying we should have got Nick Nurse when he was available, or the Cav coach when the Nets fire him. But that's one of those Like, those are moves where you gotta be proactive and not wait for them to become available. I was gonna say, like, is he better? He's black, so yeah. uh, he's a good coach. It just is championship. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with the Knicks, man. We'll see what happens with the New York Knicks. Let me see. Are there any more? Did I miss anything? Let me see. Did I miss anything? Oh, Dennis Schroeder is going to Sacramento. I think it's a 3-year 45, I think, right? Is his deal? 3-year 45. Let's see. Yeah, 3-year 45. So he's getting paid after the crazy year that he had, right? So kudos to Dennis Schroeder for sticking with it, right? He was in hooping in Brooklyn, right? Obviously the most random trade to fucking Golden State, and then a whole bunch of shit happened. Ended up in Detroit, was balling over there, and he got that, he turned that into a contract for him in Sacramento where he wants to be able to go and hoop and play. So, kudos to him, but a lot of moves going down. I'm literally just constantly refreshing Twitter trying to see what the fuck is going on. Oh, I was making sure. I was like, because I know I didn't miss this, but tell me how he could, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. Tell me how the Lakers still don't have a center. Like, it's taking too long. You would think once the DeAndre Ayton thing happened, you would think he would have been a Laker by the next day. You would think that. But it shit's yet to happen. The longer the days go, the less I believe he's going to be a Los Angeles Laker. So, yeah, it's getting spooky out there for them. Clint Capella is going back to Houston. Brook Lopez went to the Clippers. He said, "Fuck LA, I'm going to the Clippers." Luke Cornett on the Spurs. Like, yo, everyone but LA, even Kevon Looney said, "I'm going to the Pelicans." Like, ain't nobody trying to go to no motherfucking LA Lakers right now, man. Yo, they gonna go out there. Listen, man. Listen. This is why. This is why. I think this is why the Lakers. This is why LeBron signed that deal. They needed to pick him up this morning. They need best available big. It's over. I think this is why LeBron signed that $50 million contract. Because he was like, all right, let's see what y'all can do. Oh, nobody coming here? Retire. Retire. Because he about to come into training camp with a C next to his name. And he's like, I know I'm the captain. They're like, no, motherfucker, you're the center. And he gonna go, retire. I'm finna retire. Oh, it's about to be over for them. But it might be the greatest thing for Luka Doncic. They can't negotiate. They have no leverage just to get the best center and eat it. Talking about 2027, motherfucker. You have Braun and Luka today. No, listen. They're about to not get a good big because I think the longer the time goes, DeAndre Ayton not going to sign over there. I don't know who the fuck else they're about to pick up because they have no one to trade. Austin Reeves said, I'm not signing that bullshit contract. So it's about to be over. It's about to be over, which means y'all remember them years Y'all remember them years right after Shaq left the Lakers, right? Y'all remember them years, right? Right? It was a cool 27, then 35, 31. I think Luka about to be out on an island next season, and he's gonna kill everything. Like, listen. I can see the script. Luka gonna be the first motherfucker out the playoffs to win an MVP because he about to average 50 on y'all, bro. And it's not because he want to. It's because he gonna have 50 of their 80 points because there's gonna be no one on this team. Yo, we about to see the white Wilt Chamberlain. Luka about to average 50 because LeBron gonna retire. It's over, man. The Lakers, hey, man, y'all sold the team. It's over. Genie Buzz saw the Buzz family seen what was about to happen. They're like, oh, they said, oh, yeah, nah, I'm cool on this. He said, yeah, we're cool. We're cool on this. What's his name? What was the GM? What was his name? What's the who's the Bob Myers. There you go. Bob Myers. Bob Myers knew what was about to happen to Golden State. He said, hey, ejectocito, cuzzo. Y'all remember that? Yo, he said, I'm out of there. Oh, when everything went to shit for Golden State. He got one ring and said, one more ring and said, I'm out of there. Yeah, I think that's exactly that's exactly what the Buzz family did, man. They are out of there. Now we got to see this.
All kind of things, man. Want to see? Check us out right here, homie. So what you doing, man?
You need bust a right, bust a left. You can't miss it.
Buddy,
This is the Buzz family.
ejectocito, cuz! It worked! I love this button!
Yeah, that was the Buzz family. They're like, I'm out of there. Oh, yo. And we just made cash. Oh, it's over. Hey, man. Hey, I think Luka about to have the most insane year of all time. But they're going to have a terrible season, the Lakers are. I think it's about to get real bad. They're not going to have a center. LeBron going to retire. They can't trade him. It's over. It's over, man. Shit. But, hey, man. Good luck to y'all. Take some Tylenol if you're a Laker fan. You need to take some Motrin, something. You need some milk, dog, if you're a Laker fan out here. Oh, by the way, what's the... My girl and I started watching that show Running Point on Netflix. That shit was kind of heat. Mind you, it's co-produced or it's executive produced by the Buzz family and shit. So I feel like they just snitching on themselves the whole time during the show. So we've been watching that. Shit was pretty funny. But yeah, the Lakers about to be a whole sitcom, bro. They're about to be a whole sitcom. Which actually brings me to LeBron, right? Because he dropped the podcast yesterday with Kevin Durant, and Steve Nash obviously is his co-host on Mind the Game. And I've said this before. I know we were having a very heated discussion on Monday, but that Mind the Game podcast is really fucking good. Especially the one that they just spoke about. I really enjoyed when they were talking about where the game is heading to, right? Talking about, people talk about running plays, and teams switched everything and forced everything into one-on-one, which now leads us to the type of basketball that we have, which can feel really random at times, but it's really controlled randomness, and teams still have things that they're trying to get to. It's just a different direction. Do the Lakers not need to blow their team up? No, they're currently blowing it up. They're just not telling anybody. Nobody's saying anything about the Warriors to me. I would have got everyone up out of there. You know what it is? Because the Warriors team right now, what's happening with the Warriors is they're sitting there talking about, well, we woulda, coulda, shoulda if Steph were healthy. When the reality is, you don't know. You could have made a real run and proved this team to be a championship contending team, even though everyone's been cooking the type of teams that are in the league. But if they keep having that mentality, if they keep having that mentality, and I'm talking about the Warriors, and they are still stuck on this Jonathan Kuminga shit, at this point, fucking trade him. Like, just move him. Because like if you're not gonna legitimately give him a role and really play him, like, there's just no point. And the Warriors, we saw what that team looked like. They were a bottom 10 to 14, 10 to 12 team in the NBA, 10 to 15 team in the NBA without Steph or without Jimmy Butler. Like, that's what they were proven to be, not a playoff team. So I get that they had a really good run, but to your point, Elijah, I think they need to be making some moves too. But Lakers need to get it together too. Facts. No, they really do. But yeah, so the Mind the Game podcast, I think that shit is super, super fucking interesting. Everything that they were talking about to, Kevin Durant talking about, he liked to pick up going right. He had to learn to go left. And then Bron talking about, I could go left. I've never been able to pick up right. And it's just funny listening to Hoopers talk about that shit, because like that was shit that we used to talk about back in the day. Like that would, like, when we're like, fuck it, like, yo, how do you do that? Like, yo, I can't figure it out. I'm over here like I had a tough time shooting to my right unless I'm fading away. Unless I'm spinning off my left shoulder or fading away. Like my jumper to the right was fine. But if you ask me to do a 1 or 2 dribble pull up going straight up, forget about it. That shit clanking the rim. Going to the left, I'm comfortable. I could fucking do anything going to the left. But going to the right was a whole different story. And I remember having to try to train, to get better at that, right? Kevin Durant talking about balance, talking about talking about all of these little details to the game, right? I saw Gilbert Arenas, and we'll talk about him a little bit more in just a second, but Gilbert Arenas was talking about, you could talk about rings, you could talk about winners, losers, all of this shit. If you've ever, he said listen to anyone that's ever been on Kevin Durant's team, anyone that's ever been around him, everything he does when it comes to basketball is winning. He's a winner in his preparation, in his training. All he does is basketball. He lives, eats, and breathes basketball. Whether that turns into a championship at the end of the year, you can never question his work. And that's what makes him great, and that's why players put him at such a high level, regardless of the stats or regardless of the accolades, even though the stats are also there, right? But it's things like that players really value when gauging these guys, which brings me to this final conversation. And I know this is mostly an interactive thing that we do, right? The whole point of it is that we get to have this conversation. and we've had this conversation a lot, right? This whole topic of ring culture, right? And we've been talking about where the fuck does it come from, yada yada yada. And I'm sitting here saying, well, what's the problem? Because when people get ranked, all of these things do get taken into account. And so I was watching Gilbert Arenas' podcast with Load the other day, and in watching it, it clicked. It clicked to me. It clicked to me what the problem is with ring culture, like what the actual issue is that players have, and so on and so forth. I don't agree with KD's decisions. B's absolutely valid. He has nothing to prove to guys like him, Steph, KD, Larry West. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, that's why Kobe is ranked so highly by players, right? That's why a ranking list could have Kobe Bryant 10th all time, and everyone else that plays basketball or in the NBA got him second or third at lowest, right? Because when you take into account all of that other shit, the fact that Kobe even got that good, people are like, how? Right? So let me get my shit off. is that long-winded way of saying that, right? Let me try to explain to you guys, and I think the best way possible, what ring culture is, what the issue with it is, the problems it's caused, and just so we could have a better conversation about it in general, right? In general, top to bottom. So this is like a live YouTube video. We're basically doing a live YouTube video together, so bear with me. So just the other week, right? We watched a team in the Oklahoma City Thunder achieve their childhood dream of becoming NBA champions. For the overachievers, right? Multiple rings unlocks a gate to basketball heaven. You can be an all-time great if you have multiple championships. Or does it? When you look at ESPN's top 75 all-time ranking, they push this narrative that rings are everything, but when you actually look at their ranking, it's obvious that it's not. It's obvious that the voters, aka the media, value individual body of work more than just the rings, right? Especially if you weren't the quote unquote main guy, right? If you're not the main guy of your basketball team and win a championship, your ring weighs significantly less than the main guy who won the finals MVP or the guy that's considered to be the best player on that team, right? So, you know, Gilbert Arenas consistently uses Scottie Pippen in this conversation, right? Because Scottie Pippen is a 6-time NBA champion, the sidekick to the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. But despite being in the history books, he's been a disgruntled former athlete. For the better part of like the last 25 years, Scottie Pippen seems to be mad at Jordan, mad at the Bull, mad at everything. And I'm sure that some of that has to do with Michael Jordan. But I think some of it has to do with the fact that he's ranked 32nd on that ESPN all-time 75 list. But who's ahead of him? Allen Iverson, no ring. Chris Paul, no ring. John Stockton and Karl Malone, who he beat to his rings, but they have no rings, are ranked ahead of him. So, do rings really matter? Now, I think what happened is the media fooled the players and us fans, because growing up and watching the game, we get programmed that championships are everything, right? Rings are everything. So when players without rings try to validate their careers because of the work that they put in, fans are like, you fucking suck. You're trash. You just coping. You not really that good because you never won. And now there's this constant clash between players and fans that the media started. You know, some people try to say when you compare different eras, that's when people really decide to throw the rings out there. Is when people are comparing eras, right? But the discrepancy started at the very beginning of the NBA. If you look at the top 10 list, the top 10 players all time, it's very apparent that championships are not everything. Because when Michael Jordan was getting his rings, a lot of people were comparing him to Bill Russell because Bill Russell got 12, right? Bill Russell got 12. Michael Jordan at the time had 1, 2, 3. Before the 6 rings, they were already saying he was better. And everyone's like, well, Bill Russell has 12. But you don't even have to go into a different era. You don't have to go into a different era. Bill Russell with 12 rings, 8 in a row at one point, is ranked 6th all time on ESPN's top 75 list. Who's ahead of him? Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wilt Chamberlain, who is what? A 2-time NBA champion? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a 5-time NBA champion. Those are his peers. Those were the guys he was beating to get to championships. And they're ranked ahead of him because of their individual body of work. So that is where there is a real disconnect in all of this, right? Because there's this narrative that rings are everything, but when you go to the actual rankings, it's not. And this isn't the first time that the media does this. The media has been doing this because I remember when they were calling Kobe Bryant a ball hog, when they were calling him selfish. People don't remember that they were calling Michael Jordan a ball hog and selfish too. And guess what? Guess what? The ball hog and the selfish player, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, the guys that don't make their teammates better because they don't have a whole bunch of assists, guess what? They have 11 rings combined. Compared to the two players who are the mold for you're supposed to be the guy that makes your teammates better, and Magic Johnson and LeBron James, and they have 9 rings together, compared to Michael Jordan and Kobe who have 11. So what really matters when you look at the top 10 list of all time, 7 out of the 10 average 18.9 field goal attempts for their entire career. Not one season, their entire career. So, in fact, the ball hog, the guy that shoots a whole bunch of times, is actually extremely necessary to not just be an all-time great, but to be a champion. And so all of these narratives that have been pushed throughout the years have put fans and players against each other, because what ends up happening is NBA players don't figure this out until they're 5, 10 years, or sometimes not until they retire. And that's why you see guys jumping from team to team to try to validate their careers at the end. And then you see the guys who get a bunch of rings early, they're stuck because now they're 35 trying to put up 30, and it's never going to work. And so that is the problem with ring culture, because they push this narrative of rings when in reality, they don't value it that much. Oh man, was that fire? Was that? Yeah, baby, we live. Let me go read back this shit. I made a totality list a while back. It was fun. I think if you average 25 points per game in the finals and don't win MVP, but your team won, that ring counts for you. Like Kyrie, a ring counts, and nobody's disputed it. No, there are no conditions on a ring. A ring is a ring. Elijah, that sounds nice, but that's just not reality. There's a different way to it if you are noticeably that guy. Also, there's a difference between greatest NBA players and greatest basketball players. If we talking about the NBA, the individual accolades matter. And like I said, I think that's why players get upset, right? Someone like Kevin Durant or some of these guys that really work on their game in the summertime, they know who's in the practice rooms and who's not. But because that guy ends up on this team and wins, like think about how much love Alex Caruso gets. And then people will call James Harden trash. And and I get that there's a different responsibility, there's a different expectation, but I think sometimes people end up taking these guys for granted despite the work that they put in, because rings. And it's funny because if you look at the top 75 list, like I said, Bill Russell is 6th all time. Everyone ahead of him has less rings than him. Everyone. KD is higher on a best basketball player list than he is as an NBA player, slightly but higher. See, like everything goes into context. I weigh Kevin Durant's ring a lot because or his ring is to me a ring because he was so fucking good, right? People talk about Steph Curry the way that they do. To walk into that situation and do what you do, score more than him in the regular season, score more than him in the finals, be efficient, like that's really impressive. To stand next to a guy that has that much gravity on the basketball court and do what you do, I think shows how fucking great Kevin Durant is. And maybe it don't equate to him being the number one option because he's not going in there trying to take 28 shots a game, but he's fucking good, man. Like, for Bill, his rings are weighted less simply due to him having like 12 teams to play against. LMAO. Yeah, but for him, but that's my point, right? Like, they're like, oh yeah, Bill Russell got all the rings. What do we talk about? Will Chamberlain had 100. Will Chamberlain had 50 a game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, point leader of all time, played until he was 40-something. Like, nobody talks about the Bill Russell rings. Like, it just is what it is. He's up there because he won 12. Imagine he didn't. Imagine he got 8. Imagine he got 6. Imagine he got the same amount of rings as Michael Jordan. Where would Bill Russell be on this ranking list? Right? KD just outside the top 10 for me and is just inside the top 10 if we talking just players. And here, so we could look at the list together right here. This is the list. This is the all-time list. MJ 1, Bron 2, Kareem, Magic, Will, Bill, Larry, Tim Duncan, Oscar Robertson, Kobe Bryant. Honestly, this is the only one that makes absolutely, positively no fucking sense. And honestly, I think everything else you could kind of argue, right? I even though I think Kobe is far better than everyone. Kobe to me is 3rd all time. But on this particular list and the way that they are gauging these players, there is no way, even by their metrics, that Oscar Robertson is ahead of Kobe Bryant. I'm so sorry. There's just no way. Bill would be forgotten because he only averaged 18 in an era when Wilt was putting up 50s. Also, he lost more. Wilt would have like 7 or 8, so he'd probably be the literal GOAT if Bill doesn't exist. I mean, no, that's facts. And that's to your point. That's why they weigh it, because he literally canceled out the guy that would be the GOAT. Like there would be no discussion, right? There would be no. Who else would be ahead of Kobe? I got Kobe 3 or 4 depending on how I feel. Oh, by the way, too, y'all should check. Where is it? Y'all should check out this whole thing, because the way Gilbert is a fan of Kobe and the information he finds out, he talks about when Kobe, when Shaq and him split, Kobe on his revenge tour. You should definitely check out that video. It is awesome. It is awesome. That's the only issue with Wilt's case. Yeah, but I put 50. Like if I'm Wilt, 50. 50 bomb. The thing that's so unfair for Michael Jordan is he has the rings, obviously. He has the records, the three-peats, the accolades, the stats. But the thing about Michael Jordan, he has all of the highlights. And in all of the highlights, he has all of the shoes. Like, that is what makes Michael Jordan so fucking unfair. My boy got a gun pointed at him over some J's. Like, I have seen some insane stories about Michael Jordan. That's why you can never knock him off one to me. I'm so sorry. You can never knock him off of one. To me, LeBron is second because they're like the consistency factor for as long as he's played is just I don't even know what it's comparable to. And then I have Kobe third because there is no way Kobe should have ever gotten that high up. He literally worked his way to be amongst gods. That's how that like he was immortal that they allowed. Like remember at the end of Hercules, the animated movie, when they touched him and he turned gold at the end. Like he was without the powers. Like he worked his way until they're like, yo, you are this good amongst gods. That's why I have Kobe third. That's why. And it took a lot for Bron to even for me to even yeah, Bron better. Like Bron, I personally, I can't even say Bron is better. I just have him ranked higher. And I just have him ranked one higher. And then honestly, me on any given day, it's Kareem or Shaq at 4 and 5. Like, no bullshit. Like, and I get the numbers, but Shaq was just just the most dominant. There's got to be a value to that. You're not the best ever by any means, but there's got to be a value to that. But yeah, and then you get the Wilts, the Magics, the Larry Birds, the Duncans. Then that's when you start getting into all of those. That would be my list. You got to be legendary to be one over Jordan. It's like boxing. You can't beat the champ without a knockout. Yeah, like Mike got everything. Like he has everything. Like he checks off the clutch shots in the finals, leading to the finals. He has the story. Like he has everything. All right, he has everything. I got Shaq at 6 or 7 behind Tim Duncan. Again, Shaq, nothing to do with basketball. There is just his stretch. I've never seen nothing like it. That's not like Tim Duncan's body of work is way better. His body of work, way better. But Shaq is just what do you even do? Like even the way people talk about Shaq, it's just it's just insane. Like it's just insane the way people talk about Shaq. It's insane. Him not being able to hit a free throw or drop coverage or pretty much anything you ask of him, which is foreign to him, drops him for me quite a bit. No, I get that. There is just absolutely nothing. Like I remember I was watching the banter between him and Draymond, and they were talking about and Draymond is trying to hit him with like logic. He's like, you gonna play in the drop? He goes, you gonna play in the drop? They gonna give me the ball because they gonna put me at the 5. I'ma swing it to Steph and pick the nearest person. Like, and I get that, and they gonna dot his eyes. I 100% get that. I also think Draymond Green could be in foul trouble in the first 30 seconds of the game and completely neutralize anything they had going on. Yeah, Shaq has the greatest peak in my opinion. My KG peak is literally top 5 low-key as well. KG is my favorite power forward of all time. Kevin Garnett, like my dumbass, and I fully admit this, my dumbass will argue against Tim Duncan in favor of Kevin Garnett just because he's my favorite player of all time. He's my favorite power forward of all time. Dog, KG is insane. If KG would have left Minnesota, if KG left Minnesota, bro, we would be having a totally different discussion. That guy was literally insane. That guy was absolutely unreal. Okay, any day. Oh, peak. Might be read that wrong. Yeah, no, he's that like MVP. KG is one of the best players I ever seen in my fucking life. No, that guy was legit unbelievable. Like, I wish he would have got with Kobe, or if he would have got with T-Mac. Like, I fucking wish. And granted, because I saw a lot of people talking about this with the Kobe and the T-Mac thing. They're like, do you think T-Mac could have gotten 1 ring with Shaq? I think he could have. But Kobe's mentality is why that was a 3-peat. Right? Kobe's mentality is why he's 3rd all time amongst literal superhumans in like, you're talking about a Michael Jordan, a LeBron. Kareem is larger than life. Magic Johnson's fucking 6'9". Will change. Like, you're talking about literal demigods that Kobe is going up against. And he got through there through sheer willpower, effort, and work. So it's just insane. If he left in 03, good lord. Best motor, smooth ball handle at 7 foot in the 90s. Great jumper, stretch big, and will body you. Listen, bro. When KG was, wait, which one was it? Was it left shoulder? I'm trying to remember. Was it left shoulder? No, I think it was his. Yo, when KG turned right shoulder, it was fucking curtains. Like, literally. Like it was literal curtains. Like, when he turned right shoulder, bro, right, it was curtains. He was making that shit. One-handed too, that motherfucker. We have not seen KG since KG. I swear, the closest thing to him is Giannis, and he can't dribble, has no touch. Yeah, and I don't think he had at least the IQ of Kevin Garnett, because realistically, right? Like Giannis was a defensive player of the year. Drew leaves. They should still be one of the best defensive teams in the league. Like, they should be top 3 with an MVP defensive player of the year level player. But I think it just shows you how great Drew Holiday was. He explained that I think his right shoulder turn was muscle memory. If his elbow pointing at the rim, it's cash. But do you see how I'm like, I literally went in my brain to think really quickly. I'm like, I'm trying to remember which. No. He was, because for him too, for KG too, right? What made his right shoulder. What KG was smart as fuck. Can't dribble, no touch. But what made his right shoulder so good, right? If you put Kevin Garnett on the left block, if he turns right shoulder and it's cash, then that means you gotta help. You have to overhelp when he's going to the middle. if he's on the opposite block and his right shoulder is going baseline, there is quite literally nothing you could do. He was unreal, bro. Like that guy's unreal. I'm gonna be honest, Giannis dribbled pretty well when he played the Raptors. No, Giannis dribbles the basketball well. He didn't have a handle like KG though. Like KG got a bag. That's the like he got a little bit of a bag. He got a handle. Like Giannis could dribble, KG can handle. Like KG come off like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just different. He basically played all 5 positions in Minnesota, LMAO. I'm talking in comparison to KG, he was more comfortable. He was legit playing PG in an All-Star game. I remember that time. Yeah, like that guy was absolutely, like literally my favorite power forward of all time. Like literally, like I get Tim Duncan the greatest. I get it. Listen, I get it. I get it. Cool. KG was different. Like no disrespect. Like, and I get Tim Duncan was different too. It applies, but KG. Wow. KG got a real bag. Louis V. Giannis got a bag, but it's from somewhere like Zara. Nah, Giannis got a bag. His LV, the LV just like it's just hanging off. It's just kind of hanging off that motherfucker. It make you wonder, like, is it real? Is it real? But you don't want to say it too loud because you scared he'll fuck you up. That's the kind of bag he got. Shit. I draw the line at people saying Tim was better than Kobe because that just tells me that you never played this beautiful sport before. That's worse than Zara. Listen, like big men are especially when it comes to the all-time greats, right? When it comes to winning and being dominant, bigs have dominated that. We see it now. Like LeBron is obviously not a big, but we've seen how dominant he is because he's 6'8". Magic was 6'9". Like Giannis 7 foot tall. Like the NBA will forever be the land of the giants, right? Forever be the land of the giants. But the people who can also, the way I say it is, express this game the best to its highest potential are your guards and your wing players. Those are the guys that can, they're athletic and big enough to do some of the things that some of the bigs do, but they're small enough to be crafty and have to do all of these little details in the game that we all love. And so that's why it's just so hard to compare. But like when you're talking about the game of basketball, like I couldn't name, that's why I can't name 2 other people that are better than Kobe. Like that's just real shit to me. That's just real shit to me. That's worse than Zara. We can just say player A has a nice bag without comparing player B. But like the bag don't mean nothing though. Pookie was good. Derpy was good. Was good. Pookie. But like that, at least for me, like we're talking shit, but like nobody's putting Giannis down. No, at least I don't think I am. Nobody's putting no one is putting Giannis down because no matter how you slice it, that motherfucker's still 33 a game. Like it just might be like it just might be the, like Kobe literally might be better than MJ skill wise. No, he is. At least in terms of offense, he's better skill wise, and then MJ was way more athletic. So like that's why there wasn't as much of a need for for like I don't need to counter the counter if I'm gonna just blow by you for 80% of my career, right? Like when people talk about Kobe's game, you're talking about second three-peat Mike, the one that had the spins and he was posting up more. Like when people talk about Kobe's skill, Kobe's bag, you're talking about second three-peat Mike. But and this is no disrespect to Kobe. As good as Kobe was, he wasn't 63 in the Garden in Game 2 of the 86 playoffs against the Celtics. He wasn't 37 a game, Mike. Like no disrespect to Kobe Bryant. Nah, he was though. I try simply because he can shoot a lot better. MJ wasn't even that much more athletic if you watch young Kobe in comparison. No, he really was though. I swear to you, at least to my eyes and to a lot of players' eyes too, like MJ was a literal super athlete. And that's why when you see their fadeaways, Kobe still be having a hand in his face because MJ was able to create that much separation on his moves. It just like I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think MJ was far superior when it came to athleticism. Who is best technical guys ever? What does that mean? Rodman, Kobe, Melo, Harden, huh? What is a technical guy? What does that mean? But Black and 8, like again, like that's no disrespect to Kobe. That just shows you how great Kobe was, though. He's like, I gotta figure everything out. I don't have the shit you got. I don't got the big hands, the fast twitch muscles like Mike. I can't the 48-inch vert. I don't. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't even read what you said. I tried Topgolf for the first time today and banging out breakfast burrito. Wait, where was the breakfast burrito? Who had the breakfast burrito? Was it at Topgolf? We were at Topgolf probably like a month and a half ago. We should probably go back. That's just fun as fuck. I'm terrible though. I'm absolute dog shit. I need to hit a refresh on Sham's Twitter. Breaking news: Ayton to the Lakers, and yep. Oh, there he is. At Topgolf. Oh, I might have to try that. I might have to try that shit. Will earn $34 million next season. Wait, what? Wait. What? Why does this say DeAndre Ayton has agreed to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers? Sources tell ESPN. Between Portland and LA, Ayton will earn $34 million next season. So how many seasons did he sign for? It's not. It's not even. It's not even on the thing. So how many years? No, I do got the notification. It's just not on my. I'm on my computer right now. That's why. You don't get. No, I do. Derpy got the bubble guts and the burrito account. I'm weak. All time skill. I'll probably say Kobe. All time skill, Kobe. Because remember, like I think this is the important part too, right? In terms of basketball, we got to say both sides of the floor. Like both sides of the floor. And like I said, if we're again, like I said, Mike is more athletic than me. So if I'm faster and quicker than you, like I don't need, like I could cheat some of the you know the quote unquote textbook stuff, right? Kobe didn't have that. Like he had he had to be always in the right spot. Like, so Kobe for me would be number one. I know some people would say Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie is an unbelievable defender to be able to put on this list. Kobe was coming off screens a lot, also pin downs, floppy plays from back in the day. So, Kobe's footwork in every situation, on the catch, in the post. Yeah, Kobe all time. We watch him in real time, him adding to his game each year. Players literally still don't do that. It's crazy. No, for real. Like, oh shit, they're catching up to my spin. I gotta counter the spin. I gotta spin the spin. Like, that's what he was doing. He was just doing some mad scientist shit. I would have loved to see what he was doing, like just playing around on the court. Like, imagine what Kobe was doing. Like imagine what, like, the type of things Kobe was doing just playing around on the court. Like, he might have been doing some of this shit James Harden was doing, just fucking around. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he just never pulled it out in games because obviously their rules were limited at the time. But who knows what type of moves this guy was coming up with, or just on the fly, right? Or imagine you would have gave Kobe three steps. Imagine you would have gave Mike 3 steps. I get that. I get the haters that say they were giving Mike 3 steps to begin with. But if the rule says you give me 3 steps, that means they were giving Mike and Kobe 4. Imagine what they would have done with 4 steps. They would have scored 40. 40 a game on your head. Because the star get a +1. So if they give you 3 steps now, the stars get 4. So imagine the pivots Kobe would have been doing. He would have been doing insane shit. He would have been doing some mad scientist shit, man. But Kobe would be number one for me. Are there any other news? I will say I like this. Plus the fouls, Jesus. Plus the fouls. I will say I like this for the Los Angeles Lakers. Because compared to a lot of the bigs that they would have tried to put in this spot, a lot of those bigs are just going to grab rebounds and dunk the basketball. Like, Ayton has a little bit of a game. He has a touch. So when Luka hits him on the short roll, if bigs are in the drop, you could hit him in that pocket, and Ayton can make a play. So I actually do really like this pickup. Imagine Kobe in the James Harden cookie jar fouls. He used to get those before it was a thing. I love this for the Lakers. Bro, I was looking at the stats, right? I was looking, dog. How many years is this? Oscar Robertson, bro? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons Oscar Robertson averaged over 10 free throws a game. Over 10. Imagine the type of shit that they would have been getting. Imagine free throw merchant. Imagine free throw merchant. Austin can win. Ayton can win a championship. We seen him 2 wins away. Now he got Luka. Ayton is as soft as Myles. At least he get more rebound? Does he? Bring back Jackson Hayes. No, they benched him. You remember that? They can't bring him back. They can't bring him back. Remember when they benched him in that second half? They can't bring him back. They literally cannot bring him back. True, he'll be able to play his style with Luka and be more effective than he's ever been. Remember I told you Pacers would not pay soft Myles Turner. Yeah, but offering him 20 over... offering him a 3-year 60 is disrespectful. 8, 16 and 11 for 10.5. What's good, Bruce? But 10, you can't compare him to Myles Turner, though. You could call him a lot of things. 10.5 rebounds is not Myles Turner, Bruce. I don't give a fuck what you like. I don't care what anybody says. 10.5 is very far from us sitting here wondering if Myles Turner is going to get more than 6.5 rebounds. Those are worlds apart. I promise you he's a huge upgrade and probably will be one of the best centers Luka has ever had. And he's 26. DeAndre Ayton is 26. If I am JJ Redick, I'm like, all right, how can we turn you into an all-star? How can we, with Luka Doncic, get DeAndre Ayton to be an all-star in this league? I think is going to be a big question. How many games does he play? 40 last year, 55, 67, 58, 69, 38, 71. Who else can they get? Jackson was valuable during the regular season or no? No, he was. Were people's expectations too high or did I not watch enough? General question. No. He was He was very good for them, especially with Luka. But when they sat him, that relationship is over. When they sat him and they needed a big and they're out there with Rui, it was over. When they're out there with Rui instead of him, it was over. It was cooked then. Ayton is not a lob threat. True, but he don't have to be, young DeAndre Jordan. Like he could just, if Luka's gonna get him open. He wasn't a lob threat with Portland. He was with CP3. Ayton's gonna whine that he does not get the ball. Watch. I mean, Luka is about to average 40 next year, man. I don't even think it's going to matter. And the way this team is presently constructed, they're not going to be very good, so it's not really going to matter at the end of the day. But, yeah, 10.5 is very different from, how much is Myles Turner average for his career? Actually, the real question for Myles Turner is he really an upgrade to Brook Lopez? Like, is he really an upgrade to Brook Lopez? Like, they both play 3-point line to 3-point line. Both of them don't get a whole bunch of rebounds. And, the big difference is obviously the blocks per game for Myles Turner. But, when that Myles Turner conversation, like, is he really an upgrade to Brook Lopez? And that's the real question. And if he does, he's just stupid. But this is probably the best position for him to revive his career. And it's cool because he's now with a guy that should have went one in his draft. We got to stop with this lob threat stuff. We need ball players. He's a bot. And Ayton is capable enough to go up top. I do feel like they could get a quick pick up for a lob threat. No, they could. Like they off the bench to give a different vibe. I think they still need someone that, honestly, all the bigs that Luka needs is in Dallas. Like, they needed to find a way to get either fucking Gafford or some shit over there. But, hey, it is what it is. Giannis is going to curse Myles in Greek. I think Giannis might be out, but I don't know if they'll be able to move him. So we'll see what happens. Ask Luka about Gafford, Elijah. I don't think he's an upgrade. Lopez fit and have them exactly where they need it. He's never gonna get the credit he was due. Yeah, I think it's cooked for the Bucks. Hey man, that's one team we don't gotta watch next year. Hey, we add them to the list. We add them. We ain't gotta watch no Milwaukee Bucks next year. Spencer Dinwiddie is gonna trade playing one-on-one with LaMelo Ball in Charlotte, so we don't gotta watch them either next year. Oh yeah, man, we cutting down on them teams, bro. teams will be sagging off Myles by December. I mean, at that point too, they're gonna rather have Myles Turner go off than Giannis get 30, 15, and 12. Like they gonna let Myles Turner do his thing. They gonna say fuck Giannis getting 40. Yeah, let Myles do his shit, man. I will bookmark this live because Elijah think that his idol and narrative going to save Aiden. Listen, if they didn't get a center, I thought LeBron would retire, but they got one, so he might play it out. Is there anything else? Do we have anything else any pressing news that we got to talk about? Big man stats get worse with LeBron. Ask Love and Bosch. You know, it's funny. What did I even say to save me? Alright, gang. You know, it's funny. Speaking of Bosch and Love, I think, like, if Chris Bosh wouldn't have gone to Miami and kept killing, and maybe if he would have got one eventually, or even if not, or if Kevin Love would have stayed in Minnesota and kept killing, they'd probably be much more remembered rather than the one ring that they fucking got, which is crazy to think about. I literally said nothing about LeBron. I don't know what happened with that either, bro. I don't know what happened either. What else do we got? I think we've covered everything. I think we have covered absolutely everything that we can today, man. All right, yo, we are nearing an hour, so I am going to hop off, but hey, you guys have been fucking real, man. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. We're trying to take this to the moon. But thank you guys, like, again, as always, thank you guys for coming, hanging out with me, man. Thank you, Black Canadian. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Derpy. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys literally are, like, this helps me out. This helps me out, man. So y'all are the fucking goats. I'll see y'all back. If there's breaking news, I'll come back tomorrow, but I'm gonna enjoy my July 4th because I'm gonna go chill at a friend's crib. But please pray Russ to the Nuggets. I hope so too, or at least a winning situation, like at least a winning situation. But everybody enjoy your July 4th. Don't get too turned out there. You got to get home. But everybody enjoy your July 4th, man. Everybody have a great time. Like I said, if there's any breaking news, I will get on at some point if there's more breaking news. But until then, I will see y'all, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you guys so much. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate y'all for that. So thank you, man. Here was a 2-hour show for y'all. Stupid Dort sucks. Well, that's how we go out. Thank you.